Thank you. Good job. Smart room. Most of you passed that one. So supply chains are sexy again. I mean, really, truly, and super important. And so my next conversation is not about just your usual supply chain, but really about the software supply chain. And in an era where code is generated at lightning speed, this is really the topic that we want to get into deeply because we want to make sure we know how we're securing every single level of that chain. So please welcome to the stage Danny Allen. He's the Chief Technology Officer of Snyk. Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. So, as every company, okay, inevitably becomes an AI company, or at least an AI-powered company, what security blind spots are developers and product teams most commonly overlooking, especially when it comes to code, dependencies, or infrastructure?
So I think part of the answer is actually in the question, which is the blind spot itself. Most organizations, when they're rushing into a new technology era, they don't actually have the visibility of what is happening. We actually just did a survey recently of chief information security officers, and 20% of them said their biggest security threat was coming from AI, and they had no capacity to understand what was happening. So I would say lack of visibility, false assumptions. Actually, it's interesting, we did a survey of developers, and we asked the developers, we said, do you think the code that is being generated is more secure or less secure than what you write by hand?
Okay.
And 75% of them said that the AI code was more secure. Now, do you think it is?
No. We just tested everybody in the room. You could, at least for now, spot it, right?
Yeah, and it makes sense because what they're doing is training on all this open source permissive code, right? So you get the exact average in terms of vulnerabilities over what is out there. So I would say lack of visibility, I would say false expectations of what is secure and not secure, and lastly, just poor policy enforcement. Most organizations don't have the controls in place.
Well, let's talk more about policy and governance, AI governance. So we talked about AI's ability to accelerate software development like never before. It feels like we're building now faster than we can secure it because of AI, but at the same time, we know policy traditionally lags innovation. So is there a way to actually bring those timelines closer together?
I think there is. One thing is very true. The speed of code is incredible. We've been talking for a long time, software is eating the world. Well, AI is eating the software. The speed and velocity that software is coming through the pipelines is like nothing I have ever seen in my career right now. It's so fast. And the trouble that CISOs have is they don't have the trust that what is coming through that pipeline is actually secure. Now, there's a number of things that I think we can do. One is that we can put those teams on the same source of understanding so that they're both reading off the same playbook. They're not doing that today. The second thing is policy as code. I think we can be smarter about saying what is allowed versus what is not allowed.
And trust, forgive me. Everyone talks about trust. It's kind of become this sort of abstract term, but it is so critical, and that's why everyone is talking about it. So at the code level, share what you think trust actually looks like, what it means, and who's responsible for it.
Well, trust is a nebulous word, and everyone, yes, is talking about trust. Back in the 80s, there was a term used in politics, trust but verify. I think a better way of framing it is trust from verification. And so when we think about trust at Snyk, one of the things that we think about is how can we give visibility to everyone for common understanding, whether it be a chief information security officer, whether it be developer, whether it be platform engineering. So visibility is number one. Number two is prioritization, because just because you know about everything doesn't actually give you the understanding of where you should actually start from prioritization. And then lastly, it's policy. And so you want to have that understanding, but you want to verify it. That's what actually gives the trust.
So is there a way that you're working with clients to do all of this for them?
Yes, we have been clearly focused on this from the very beginning. In fact, if you go back 10 years, Snyk kind of disrupted the industry because everyone was doing DevOps, faster and faster development. And one of the things that we did is we inserted ourselves into the pipeline so that we could do the analysis, the verification, and all of the things that needed to be done. We're taking that same approach in two different ways. One is for AI accelerated code, and I think if you did a poll of the room, I would bet that 80% of the room, their developers, are using coding assistants. And so you want to verify the code coming from that. But also AI native code. We talked earlier, like Aura. That app was amazing, being able to track what children are doing. Those types of AI-based applications also need to be secured.
So the AI Trust platform, this brand new platform, but based on this decade's worth of work, is, tell me if I'm hearing this right, it's solving these two sort of problems, the speed of AI accelerated development, but also the security of native AI applications. And I'm curious, as you're looking to the future too, because this is what you're helping clients do as well, there's been hype around autonomous agents and also self-healing code. So we've got speed of AI, accelerating development, we've got native AI applications, but now we've got self-healing code, we've got autonomous agents. How far off is that future?
Well, I think it was Bill Gates that said we always overestimate what will happen in the next 2 years and we underestimate what will happen in the next 10 years. My belief, we're in a hybrid world right now, which is we've been using AI actually within our platform for well over 5 years, generative AI for several years to generate fixes. But culturally, I don't know that the world is ready for completely autonomous. I always say I'm willing to get in a Waymo and say, drive me to the next block. I don't know whether I'm willing to get in a Waymo and say, drive me across the country. My belief is that by 2030, we will have completely self-managing autonomous systems, but we're more than 2 years away from completely agentic models. You're still going to want a human in the loop to verify, because developers are core to the trust that is established. The developers actually have to trust that what they're being provided is also secure.
What other things still need to sort of happen before we get to self-healing, fully autonomous?
Well, first of all, there's regulatory things that will have to happen. One of the conversations that was interesting earlier was with the governor when she was talking about the policies. I think you need consistent policies on what is allowable and what is not allowable. That's one part of it. Secondly, there'll just need to be a confidence that what is being generated is secure. I think it was May Habib who was up here earlier saying, wanted to say it was 2024, not 2025. So those types of willingness to accept that what you're getting is accurate, that will take time. And that's why I say I think we're probably 2 or 3 years away.
So if we fast forward 3 to 4 years, okay, just one more year above that, what does secure software development look like then?
I think secure software development looks very different in the future than what it does today. And the reason I say that, software today is very much built around humans, individuals. They write APIs, they choose languages, they write the code. In the future, I actually imagine that we'll see fewer languages, that there will be coding languages that are optimized for AI coding assistants. APIs, as we know them, will disappear in favor of MCP servers and model context protocols, what it stands for, but ways that agents can talk to one another. You don't need the same deterministic APIs that we have today. So I think it is going to look very different, and rather than being creators of code, I think we'll be composers of code. That's what the software development industry will be based around.
And just finally, stepping back a bit, taking off many, many hats that you wear, how do you think AI is actually impacting all of us on a day-to-day basis?
Well, it's making all of us two things, both more organized and more efficient in what we do. It's giving us all kinds of boosts. I mean, the conversation earlier with Aura about helping us parent our children. I mean, it's helping every single one of us in our daily jobs, certainly helping me. It's also making us more anxious because we have concerns about, is this good for the company? Are the right security guardrails in there? And that's why AI trust and making sure that we have confidence as we adopt the AI is so important, because we can't take the full advantage of technology. We can't take advantage of it unless we actually trust that technology that's being used.
I like that, trust being the antidote to anxiety, which I think we all need that antidote. Danny, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you also to the Snyk team for this really amazing partnership. To the audience, grab a refreshment at the Snyk coffee cart. There are specialty lattes, and I hear that people are already getting into espresso martinis. So I don't know, you guys are jumping ahead of the schedule. Thank you so much, Danny.
Thank you, Hope.